ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Do you know what time it is? It's a podcast time coming for you. Gonna do it spooky, really good for the podcast time. How was that for an intro?
That was awesome. Why'd you wait so long?
I
I've been
gotta,
using that from the beginning.
dude. We're getting close to Halloween. I gotta ramp it up.
Oh, you're getting excited. You're making me want to do this whole podcast is Hulk Hogan, brother.
I am getting excited. You want to know why? Free Snickers, free Kit Kats given to me.
Yeah, that's more Macho Man. Tell me this, Rick.
Yeah,
As a kid, trick or treating.
yeah.
What was your go-to way of collecting candy? What was your apparatus? What was your tool?
Pillowcase?
Blammo. Pillowcase. You always have to go pillowcase. Kids, if you want the most candy, you have to go pillowcase. None
Gotta
of this
do
your mom
it.
can do this plastic little jack-o'-lantern that's going to get what? 25, 30 chocolate bars tops. You got to go pillowcase.
Yeah.
Sling it over the shoulder. Sometimes when you get a little bit too old for Halloween, you should probably not be trick-or-treating anymore. Now you're waving it around. You're hitting people.
Every single time when I get home, my dad would be like, I got to test to make sure it's not poison. I got to do another poison test just to make sure it's good.
Great
He's
joke,
eating
Mike.
half my candy.
I heard this one last year. Yeah,
What?
Mike, you can eat as many rockets as you want. I don't want those.
I don't want those either. Quite
Wasted.
frankly, neither is he.
Yeah, he's no dummy.
We're pretty much a chocolate family over here.
Box of raisins.
Glossettes, boy?
I'll take that. I'll take the glass.
Sweet. I
Yeah,
love
so we're-
glossettes.
If you haven't noticed, we're back.
We are back again for another podcast. And this one, we are talking about a remake of an extremely kick-ass horror classic called Evil Dead. Deadites. The Necronomicon.
Guess what, Rick?
Boomsticks. What?
First time I've ever seen this movie, and I'm not talking like the first time I've seen the 2013 version. First time I've watched anything Evil Dead ever.
I've never been more disappointed in you in my whole freaking life.
Yeah, I don't know why. I got a weird thing.
Clearly.
Where, yeah, I'm nuts. I got a weird thing. Do you ever have something get like super popular and like I don't know when that happened, but there was like a big like Evil Dead craze where like people were just loving it. The more popular something is, sometimes I'm like, skip it.
I know you shy away from it for sure. I do feel that a little bit with certain things. I've never seen a superhero movie. Well, that's not true. I've seen Deadpool, but that's it, I think.
Yeah. And it took me a very long time to watch Breaking Bad. I was always kind of like, what's the fuss about?
Come on!
Exactly. But guess what?
Years
later, when I watched it and it was long over, I'm like, I get it.
Okay, good.
Next thing you know,
man,
I haven't left my house in 3 weeks.
Totally. Do not get me started on Breaking Bad. It's my favorite show of all time. And I've got this weird craving just deep within my loins where I want to restart it again. I've already watched the whole series twice.
I don't blame you. I've only seen it once, so I could probably do it again. And the reason why I also want to do it again is because I just finished Saul.
Yes.
And Saul was awesome. Different shows, kind of a slow burn, but
True.
like still really
True.
good.
Tell me if you agree with this. I feel like Saul, every single season, is better than the last. Every single one. Each one keeps getting more and more intense, better, and digging deeper into Breaking Bad world, which I love, obviously.
Yeah, so did I. And yeah, he kills it. That character, Saul Goodman, is all good, man.
He's sick.
So yeah, I think if I revisit Breaking Bad just after finishing Saul, I think it's gonna be even.
It's gonna connect a lot of dots too,
for sure.
What do you say? You want to dive into this? No, you want to dive into this Evil Dead 2013 version, which again, I feel many of these I've seen in the theater. This is your first viewing of this. This is my buddy. 20th view of this, I would say.
No way.
This one is one of my favorites in a long, long time. And I'm going to give a real hot take. I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of flack coming my way for this. It's my favorite Evil Dead in the whole franchise, including the originals. Evil Dead 2 is most regarded as the highest ranking Evil Dead, the best Evil Dead. Most people would say that because Evil Dead 2 is Sam Raimi basically remaking Evil Dead 1 and correcting all the things that he didn't like about Evil Dead 1. He does it better in Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is a better film. It's super sick. However, I just happen to like this one more.
Whoa. You got some girl working at Hot Topic right now, very upset at you.
Very upset. And I do apologize, but I don't apologize. This is how I feel.
Shit, it is. I'm going to give it this. Out of all the movies we've watched so far on our list here, this is by far the most gruesome.
It's a bloodbath.
It is gruesome.
And I heard that they used something insane, like 10,000 gallons of fake blood to create this whole movie.
Oh, and I would say, I'm trying to think of some others that would be as gruesome. Like, there's other movies that had moments. There's like Devil's Rejects. There was a lot of crazy stuff in there, a lot of gory stuff. I'm a squirmy boy, so like anything that's just like wound and pokes, and I'm so squirmy. This movie was full of it. And I think what also makes it so much like more horrific and more gory is that like these other movies, something crazy happens and it's usually just like a big quick flash, like someone's getting their head smashed, it happens, it's over. This one, they're just like, I feel milking it to the extreme, like it's like, ooh, and I'm just like, stop it keeps going, so much blood.
Can I ask you right now, even before we dig into really what the movie's about, can I ask you what your biggest gore moment was, the one that really sticks out in your mind?
In this one, ooh, put me on the spot there, Johnson. I'm trying to think of all the deaths, but there's like there's a lot of things. There's like people like cutting things off. Like the one girl feels like she's poisoned, and we'll get to this point, but she has to cut her own arm off. There's another
with the electric turkey knife.
Yeah, just a lot of long drawn out stuff like that. Like Mia is the main character, I believe.
Yes.
And so when she's running away at one point, she like a truck flips over and she's caught underneath, and she has to pull her arm out, and like she knows she's gonna lose it, but like it's long and just stretched and just like I just can't. So I guess those are the ones that came to mind first.
Right. I can't believe you didn't talk about the box cutter lick.
Oh, split tongue, and that's down in the basement.
Right.
Let's break it down from the beginning. Do you want to take it?
You bet. Here's the deal. Mia is this girl who is trying to get off drugs. All of her friends and her brother David have agreed to go to this cabin out in the woods, similar to a lot of other Evil Dead movies, except that's not why they go to the cabin in other ones. Here's the difference, is that Mia is going out there to try and get sober. She's agreed, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to get sober. She dumps all of her drugs into the well, and everyone's like, cool, time to go cold turkey. They get in there, and all of a sudden they realize there's this kind of gross smell coming from the basement. They don't even know where the basement is until they kick this rug out of the way. There's a huge smattering of blood that pretty much goes to the handle of the basement. They whip it open. They go on down into the basement, and what do they find? 15,000 hanging dead cats. Yeah. Maybe not that many, but there's a whole bunch of dead cats down there. They decide to do something about it. They don't want to sit in the stink, so they clean out all the cats. While they're doing that, they come across this book that's been bound with barbed wire and a bunch of other things that they cut open. That book was the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. It's a book made of flesh, drawn in blood.
What's the book called?
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
Yeah, it is.
So they find this book. While this is happening, Mia is getting worse. So I don't know this for a fact, but I guess when you're doing cold turkey off of hard drugs, you start to have flu-like symptoms. You like what happens? You get all freaked out.
Yeah, you're all shaking. Like I think
You're
your body.
cold.
Well, I
Yeah.
think she's trying to kick heroin,
Right.
and
Yes.
the only cure for like all that sickness, like you're puking and shaking, I think is more heroin. And she got rid of all hers. And one cool thing too is that you find out that this isn't the first time they've like attempted this.
Right.
And so this time the friends have all band together, the brothers there, and they're saying like, we know how this is going to go. She's going to freak out. She's going to say, I need to leave.
Yeah.
This time we're all together. We're not letting her leave.
Not gonna let that happen.
Which is cool because once really crazy stuff starts happening, she wants to go because it's the smart move. But they're like, we've seen this before. You're not going
to do it. Absolutely. So while all of those things are happening with the cats in the basement, they find the Necronomicon. Mia's getting worse. She's getting freaked out. Till finally, she decides to actually just steal the keys of the car, break free, and get out. At this point, though, the other character named Eric, who's my favorite in the whole movie, he's got long hair. I think he says he's a college professor or something like that. Clearly, he's the brains of the operation over there.
Yeah.
He is reading off different words within that book while Mia decides to take off in the car. And while she does, he unlocks basically the gates of hell, and a bunch of deadites and spirits and demons come up from the heaps of hell and try and they're going to attack Mia. So Mia eventually gets to a certain point, flips the car, and then the demons overtake her body in a very gruesome way. She makes it back to the house, but she's changed. She is not the same. She's totally different, dude. Everyone's all freaked out. She's acting like a complete weirdo, except now she's a lot more calm than she was before. So that's a little bit alarming in itself. She decides to go take a shower, cranks it to 11, ends up scalding herself, so everyone comes in to come to her aid and rescue her.
Her skin is almost melting off
it's
her.
bubbling off of her. It's so gross. But that's when she actually starts freaking out. She pukes all over the one girl with that big yellow barf. Yeah. Essentially infects her. That girl takes off to go get cleaned up. And while that's happening, Mia gets a hold of the shotgun, and she doesn't blow one of them away, but I think she shoots, it's her brother, right?
Her own brother in the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, right in the shoulder. So the whole crew whips her down in the basement where the cats were. Lockett, that's that. They're all assessing the situation. These people start dropping like flies while Mia's in the basement. The one girl decides to cut her own face off with a piece of broken glass.
Oh, yeah.
Another girl gets her arm infected. Like you said earlier, has to cut it off with a freaking turkey knife.
So the demon or the witch or whatever it is,
the deadite,
the deadite, she's controlling everybody else, making them kill themselves. So the deadite is not in them. It's just Mia, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. It does show in the book different things, like all the things that are happening. The girl that cuts her own face off, it shows that it's written in blood in the book. It shows Mia dumping hot water. It shows someone dumping hot boiling water on them. That's Mia cranking the shower to 11.
So everything that they're seeing in the book is kind of starting to come true.
Yeah.
And one thing we should add too, the movie first starts with a whole different group of characters, and there's a dad who has a girl tied up in the basement who is infected, and she's like the main source at that point, and he has no choice to kill her. There's 3 ways to make this person like free of the devil, of the spirit or whatever. I think one is burn alive, bury alive, and what's the third?
Decapitate.
So he's chosen to set. He has no.
He sets her on fire.
Yeah. He's got no choice. And one of the coolest things, and I think it's just the deadite playing a prank.
I'm glad you're saying it right.
Not a prank, but like a last ditch effort to make a trick, and it happened both times. And it's just like right before it's about to die, it brings the person back, or it's controlling the person and speaks normally and is like pleading, like, Dad, why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to me? So you're like, it's going to almost stop anybody from doing it, but you know it's not really that person.
Right.
And
It's like classic exorcist behavior.
Yeah. I have a real quick question to ask you about Exorcist, and just like this is very similar. It's like your body's been taken over.
Yeah.
Why is it that anytime someone gets taken over like this, they're so crude? Like the stuff that's coming out of their mouth is so out of, like, it's just
Verb. I swear I was going to ask you the same question.
Like, it's not like it's not just threats. It's like, you little, see you. It's like everyone is just like,
it's always weird sex stuff that they say.
Always, every time, no matter who they're talking to. It doesn't matter if it's like a little kid, but that was movie magic. It's just like to hear these crude, crazy things coming out of like this little girl's mouth. You're like, what am I seeing right now?
It's very bizarre, but I think it does have an impact when they say, when they say those things. You're like, whoa! It kind of catches you off guard.
Okay, I'll listen. But yeah, you take it so seriously. But every single time, there's never been like any deviation from it in any other movie. I don't think.
I just simply don't think that there is a reason to deviate.
It just happened.
Yeah, man. So, anyways, after all of this stuff happens, Mia ends up getting out. The real fact of the matter is that all of the people that went there to go help her are now dead, except for her brother.
Before you go there, let's talk your favorite character, David, because he kind of like
Eric.
Eric, sorry, makes it he makes it through quite a bit of the movie. How does he keeps popping back up? He's been hit by like nail guns.
That guy takes a beating worse than anyone I've ever seen. Like, that guy is a champion. He makes Rocky look like warm butter. He takes the nail gun. He takes the immense beating with the crowbar. He gets the little Mom. He takes the needle right in the freaking eyeball.
Right.
He gets shot, doesn't he, as well?
I can't remember how he eventually finally goes down, but
he just eats it so hard.
So hard. So
it's not funny.
We're sick. I got to. Sorry. I felt like we need to give Eric a little credit there.
Yeah, he kind of is the one that got him into all that mess. He's the one that found the Necronomicon ex mortis and decided to break into it. Maybe I should learn from books. Great idea, Professor. Look what you learned here, you big dummy. You brought all the damn deadites over to the cabin. Shows you what learning will do.
Hey,
read?
You think? Well, we'll get there. But after all this happens and Mia does end up surviving, we're going to explain this. But would you say she's cured of her heroin addiction after all of this, or do you think she's going straight back to it?
Dude, that is a really good question. I've never thought of that, because I was about to say she's cured for sure. She's scared straight. However, maybe that was such a traumatic event that she needs to lean on some of her old habits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe your brother's going to try it. He had a stressful night too. And then
he's done so, bro.
The whole family. Ooh, okay, get there. Let's get there.
Okay. So after everybody pooches out, David, Mia's brother, realizes that, hey, I have to kill Mia or else the gates of hell are going to be open forever. So he decides, I'm going to bury her alive. He puts a bag over her head, digs a grave, puts her in there. Like you said, the spirit then channels like Mia's old self.
Right.
And then starts talking to David about, she's pretty much guilt tripping him.
Yeah, why would you do this to me? I love you.
Yeah, I love you. He decides to just bury her anyways. Then, after he's done filling in the grave, he has a change of heart, digs up the body, creates this weird, what are those things that they use in the hospital? Like
defibrillator.
Is that, what's it called?
I think a defibrillator, maybe.
Okay. And he makes this like jerry-rigged defibrillator with these two huge needles and a car battery, and stabs her in the chest and wakes her up. And then I think they decide that what they should do is burn the Necronomicon, isn't it? So they torched the whole dang house. Am I screwed up here?
I know Eric was trying to burn it, and he just like was looking at it, and he's just like, this thing just doesn't burn. Like it just doesn't burn.
No, the house, the cabin. Who sets the cabin on fire? That's David, the brother, is it not?
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
That's awful. But so let's talk about how David goes down then.
I think he's in the house.
Oh, he locks her out. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, locks
her out. She's trying to get in.
Sets it ablaze.
He's quite that saves her, I guess.
Yeah.
And so now Mia's left to fight
this demon. This demon that literally
whose body at that point has it taken, or does it have its own?
I think it has its own.
Wild.
So the demon.
I literally saw this movie 2 days ago.
I'm gonna be dead honest. I didn't actually have time to watch it this time around. I've seen it like 20 times.
Whoa. That's okay.
I can talk on Evil Dead all day, damn it.
All day, baby. I got the figurines.
I'm sure I got some sort of dumb Evil Dead thing around here.
Action figures. You're probably getting the movie mixed up from when you were playing yesterday afternoon when you had one jump off the bookshelf. Okay, so then a guy's on top of the fridge.
I only play with those guys on the tub. You know that.
Yeah, that's right.
So she is then forced to face this demon from hell. They're in a full-blown face-off when it starts to rain blood. And when that happened in the theater, I thought that was so damn cool. Obviously, you think of Slayer immediately, raining blood. But when it happens in the movie, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
And it did say in the book, I believe, that when it rains blood, you know it's over.
Oh, yeah. That's when shit really hits the fan.
Hoo-wee.
Anyways, so they end up fighting, and Mia wins the fight. She cuts her in two.
Right, and Mia's only one-handed.
Chainsaw. She's one-handed. Yeah, like Verb said earlier, the truck comes toppling over, falls on her hand, rips the hand off, and this is a homage that you wouldn't know because you haven't seen the others. But in all the others, the main character is named Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, and he's got a chainsaw for a hand because he has to cut his own hand off. Because like that girl that cuts off her arm with the turkey knife, his hand gets infected. So then he's got to take that hand off, and then he makes a chainsaw.
I did. Yeah, I knew. I definitely knew like the chainsaw had something to do with it. Like I kind of thought it was always just his like weapon of choice. I don't think I knew that it was like attached to him.
Yeah.
I feel like I did see his name in the credits at some point.
Yeah, he's a producer on there.
Producer. Why just a new fresh view? Like he had no interest. Were you surprised that he didn't make a cameo at some point?
I thought he might.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know what his car. That's one thing. Bruce Campbell's car, Ash's car, is in every single Evil Dead movie. It's okay. I can't remember.
Incorporated into this.
It's just sitting down, broken down at the cabin in the background.
Okay.
But it's in every single one of the Evil Dead movies. Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were both producers on this. It was directed by Fede Álvarez. I think that's how you say it. And it was his first feature. I don't know how they figured out, hey, we should get this guy to do it. In my opinion, he effing killed it. Did you see his next movie called Don't Breathe?
With the kids, they break into the house?
Yeah. With the blind guy?
It's a great one.
Pretty sick, eh?
Yeah, I didn't know it was the same guy.
Yeah,
that is a good one.
Same dude there.
Maybe it'll make our list next year.
Oh, I think it might. Anywho, so this whole thing, like I said, this one is top level for me. I really, really love Evil Dead. I think it's so sick. Everything about it. I think it's cool because all of the other Evil Deads have a huge slapstick comedy side to it. They're way more funny, a lot more lighthearted. This one is really serious and scary and dark. And I think it's so cool.
I don't think there's one joke in there. I can't think there's and it doesn't have any like goofy characters. It doesn't have any like.
It is quite stone cold serious, I say.
I did like it. it's the squirm effect, which gets me every time. I think I felt like
I would love to be with you when you were watching it.
Every time we do it, it's just like Cass is just kind of staring at me like, just relax, man.
Would you grow up?
Blankets over my head. I just don't want to stare at it, but
yeah,
you can't look away in this one because it lasts so long. You look away, you come back, it's still happening.
Oh yeah, for another couple minutes. I give this puppy.
It was a cool story. I did like it.
Yeah, I think it's so cool, man. I give this puppy a solid 8-9.
Ooh, I like it. I'm not gonna go as high. It's not as dear to my heart as it is to you, but I'm gonna go 7.8 on this guy.
7.8.
7.8.
Oh,
kind of like
it's hard for me to accept.
Kind of like your back dive. Giving you a 7.8.
Buddy, if I got a 7.8 on a back dive, I'd consider that a good day. That'd be a good day for me.
Would have been better with a little bit less splash, but
splash? Dude, yeah. I can barely dive frontwards. You know I'm terrified of heights. I can't be jumping off the Brock Tower or some grotto cliff dive or something.
Only pencil drop off of there.
At best.
The only thing that I had, so for anybody who doesn't know, the Brock is an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's got a giant board. It's not even a board, it's a platform.
Yeah, so that's where they dive off in the Olympics.
So we used to play like horse or whatever, where like a guy would go up and you'd have to copy them, and if you couldn't do it or you chickened out, you'd get a letter. I always lost because I could only do the pencil drop because I was scared to do anything else. And the only thing that I had that would beat some people is the backwards pencil drop. Yes. A couple people wouldn't do it.
Dude, I would not do that. It's basically you walk to the end of the tower and then you just turn around and then just jump off that way. I can't do it. I'm terrified of heights, man.
Hitting your chin on the
maybe for you. For me, it's heights. I never even thought about my chin. I'm just terrified of being up there. I have to do that thing where I walk to the edge and kind of like creep over and just, and then I gotta like psych myself up for a minute. Then I just book and do it.
As a little guy, I definitely had gone up and then came back down, which is always because it's not a quick.
It's humiliating.
You're like climbing down there. Everyone's watching.
Yeah, it's a ladder. It's not stairs. You gotta like.
It takes time. People have time to laugh.
Do you remember when we took swimming? It wasn't swimming lessons there. It was laps training or something.
We were like 70-year-old men doing laps for no reason.
Oh, I know. Except we would just stay in the shower under the hot shower, just soaking in our bathing suits for just eating up half the course until the instructor would come in and be like, "Are you guys taking this seriously?" Like,
yeah. I don't know what the goal was for anyone.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're taking this seriously. We're here for the showers.
I'm gonna go ahead and blame Brenda for that one because what was she signing us up for?
I don't know.
I don't think she read the description.
Maybe she wanted us to get ripped or something. I don't know. I think swimming's good to get ripped.
Tired of me wearing those husky jeans.
My boy only wears pants with drawstrings. I just want him to wear normal jeans.
Everyone's laughing at him. All right, well, you don't like my score. Now I feel like I've given it too low, but I've given it, it's locked in. I gave it a 7.8.
That is still fair. I do understand. It is extremely gory, very, very gruesome. So I get that, especially if that's not your thing. So maybe I should be grateful for a 7.8. I think that's, could be a lot worse than that.
There you go. And
what did you give Friday the 13th? You gave that like a
5.4 maybe.
5.4?
Yeah, why'd you bring up that stinker?
As much as you hated it, a 5.4 is not that bad.
It's above average.
Just barely.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's it too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know what? We got more coming at you. A bunch, okay? So what you got to do is you've got to go onto your computers or onto your little telephone, and you got to type in Press Time Design into YouTube like you're doing right now because you're here. But you got to do it tomorrow because then there's a new podcast coming at you.
Let's get some participation here, folks. Let's
That'd
hear
be
what
nice.
you like, what you don't like,
Yeah.
what
That's the
you
spirit,
really
Bert.
don't like, who you don't like.
It doesn't have to be about the podcast, just in general.
Yeah, which movies are your favorite? We want to know. We want to talk about it.
It'd be nice to engage a little bit.
Thank you for watching.
Have a good day, okay? Bye.